Welcome to the Sovereignty Sage, where your sage, Melania Johnson, enjoys herself as she runs her mouth about all things woman. My mom always said, women are the most powerful beings on the planet. They just don't know it. Well, I'm here to help you to know it. Put on your big girl panties because we're going deep. I'll talk about it all. Now let's go claim your sovereignty, shall we? Hello, folks. Happy Wednesday. My name is Melania Johnson. I'm your Sage Coach, and today we are talking about the Pleaser Saboteur. You know, if uh, if you are craving to uh, do what you want, when you want, how you want, without the pangs of guilt and yearning, then this conversation is for you. I'm torn between, I don't know if I'm nervous or excited. I think this is such an important conversation, especially for women. Some of the characteristics that come with this saboteur, the pleaser saboteur, is the need for people pleasers to feel like they are liked, right? That they are accepted, that they need to help and rescue and flatter people in order to be reassured that they are accepted and that they are wanted and that they find that others find value in them. People pleasers need constant reassurance, right? They need to feel that they are being accepted. People pleasers tend not to express their wants, their needs, their feelings, their thoughts directly. You're indirect communicators, and you wait around for people to reciprocate what you have sacrificed for them, right? And when they don't, then you feel resentful. So these are some of the characteristics of the people pleaser. And so we're going to go deep on this conversation. There's a lot to talk about. We'll go deep, relatively quickly, but also know at the end of this journey for yourself to change this mindset, because it is a mindset, right? To change it, know that there is light at the end of the tunnel, that you can change your life and live the happy life that you want. People pleasers find it almost impossible to break the mental habit of putting themselves last. Now, add on to that gender, right? Being a woman, and you have been groomed to sacrifice yourself in many ways, right? We've been groomed for this. People pleasing is really less about selfless acts because we feel that we're being selfless, and it's more about filling that hole that resides inside of us, that makes us feel that if we show up to be our authentic self, and I use that word, I know we hear the word authentic a lot these days, and it is, while it might feel overused, it is a powerful word, because one of the saddest parts about being a people pleaser and the mental saboteur of being a pleaser is that in order for you to think that you can survive and be seen and be heard and to be accepted and to be loved and to feel that you're worthy, it means that you have to erase a part of yourself. This is the one saboteur that asks you to be less of yourself, to diminish yourself in order to be approved by others. This saboteur is insidious and it's painful. And maybe my excitement and my nervousness today is because I know that there are women and people out there who need to break the chains of this mindset. That is not very easy to do, right? Because you are laden with guilt most of the time. If you feel that if you don't show up for others, if you don't acquiesce, if you avoid saying certain things or doing certain things, that people won't like you, they won't love you, they won't accept you. And I fall heavily on my PQ practice, the positive quotient intelligence practice, right? It is a practice that helps you to break these types of saboteurs. And I will talk about that later. But the people pleaser is one of those saboteurs, those mental patterns that undermine our confidence, our authenticity, and our ability to grow. Because you cannot grow when you are always pushing the true essence of who you are down. You can't do it. On some level, you believe that if you let everyone have their way, they are going to reciprocate your sacrifices, right? They're going to see what you're doing. The people pleaser, in order to gain acceptance and affection, uh, uh, uses helping and pleasing and rescuing and flattering others. As a result, they lose sight of who themselves. These are the things that they use. I'll share an example with you. People pleasing, or the pleaser saboteur, was not high on my saboteur list, right? But I see that behavior in me in simple ways. Let's say I'm in the line of a grocery store checkout line, and the cashier is surly and not very inviting. For whatever reason, the people pleasing side of me feels that I have to then perform customer service for them. So I'm like asking them, so how's your day? How's it going? You got long to stay? Well, it's sure. I'm trying to build up their spirits. I'm not getting paid to do that work. They are, but because of the absence of it and because of a people pleasing nature that resides in me, I feel that I have to come, step up to the plate. I have noticed the people pleasing aspect of myself in relationships with men, right? I am always interested. I'm genuinely always interested in people. I'm interested in their work. I'm interested in what their passions are, what they do, what challenges, and I'm interested in them. And I feel that if I'm showing interest in you, which is genuine for me, that you're going to reciprocate that, and that you will then turn your gaze from yourself to me. That has not always been the case in my relationships, not only with men, but with people in general. And then there's some resentment because, it's not being reciprocated. Let me also frame the people pleaser in the reality in which it exists. Saboteurs exist to try to protect us. The pleaser saboteur is trying to protect you from rejection, right? From somebody looking at you and not feeling that you're worthy. So we use these ploys of pleasing and flattering and doing and rescuing to try to win favor with folks. But all the while you are sacrificing yourself. You know, so it shows up in little ways and big ways. You sacrifice yourself in little ways and big ways. It shows up. Where do you want to go to eat? Well, where do you want to go to eat? Well, didn't you want to see that movie? No, seriously, you're amazing. Mind you, I tell you that every time I see you because I want you to like me. I, I don't care what we do. What do you want to do? I'll pay for my kids blank because, I mean, I know they're grown and all, but, if I don't do it, who's going to do it? You show up at work as a people pleaser in the way that you are quiet in meetings. You don't share um, your thoughts and your feelings. In sensitive moments, in conflict, you hide under your shell. You fear that if I am not in agreement with you, then our relationship is going to be in danger. And so that is how you operate. The self-denial is nickel and dime, from little small sacrifices to big sacrifices. Sure, I'll leave my hometown and move to your hometown where you can be near your family and friends. Well, I guess I can put off going back to school because you need to do whatever. Yeah, yeah, I don't really have money to save Patricia, my cousin, again. But well, if I don't do it, who's going to do it? These are some of the things that people pleasers might say to themselves, and they say it so much to the point where they absolutely disappear. After a while, I guarantee you, if this is your mindset, you will lose yourself. You will not know what you want. You will not really be sure of how you think. You will second guess everything because you want to save your relationships. Here's the other thing about these saboteurs, right? They come to protect us, they are a part of our survival mechanism. Note that you only employ survival mechanisms when you feel that you are being threatened, that your survival is being threatened. What is being threatened in your mind and the mindset that this has developed are the relationships that you have. If I show up as me, people will no longer want to be with me. But here's the rub. After a while, people stop noticing that you're sacrificing. That's if they ever notice that you sacrifice, right? Because I always talk about our imposter, right? We send out our representative, right? And so your representative is a ghost. Your representative is the invisible you, right? So people never really get to see you. They don't know you. They don't know that you're a disappearing act. And so, therefore, they never know to turn the lens from themselves onto you. People don't even know. Your representatives out there kissing everybody's butt, and no one is even noticing. They assume that that's your role. Your role is to be invisible. That's the role that you have assigned yourself. Well, I see you. I see you. I know that you're in there. And today we are going to begin excavating you to the surface. You have to look past the representative that keeps you smiling and choking back your resentment because you know it's there. It's the person behind the imposter, the one that is afraid that if you don't please people, they won't love you, they won't admire you, they won't accept you, they won't need you, they won't see you. It's time for you to see yourself. How might you think? I'm sorry. You might think. You might have a thought that to be a good person, I have to put my own needs last. Right. That is part of the saboteur pleaser thinking. It bothers me when people don't notice or care what I have done for them. They can be selfish and ungrateful. Might be some of the things that you hear yourself saying. I give way too much and I don't think about myself enough. Some of the things and thoughts you might have. I can make anyone like me, but at what cost? If I don't rescue people, who will? Well, maybe they'll rescue themselves. You often feel selfish. You often feel guilty. You're afraid that your needs will drive people away. Let's just sit with that for a moment, shall we? that you're afraid that being you, authentically, 100% you, undistilled, will drive people away. That is a terrifying place to be. And then you try to fool yourself into believing that you do this because you're an exceptionally good person, right? But that's not true. I'm not saying that you're not a good person, but what you are trying to do is fill a hole in yourself. Somewhere along the way, you learned that when you are pleasing to others, when you reflect what other people want or what they think or their opinions, when you become less of yourself and less of what might be conceived as an inconvenience to other, the happier people are and the more they like and accept, and the more you're assured to have that relationship last, right? So it was really less about being selfless and more about actually trying to fill a void in yourself. That through a relationship of some sort in your life has created this, through a society that tells you that women should sacrifice themselves for others, right? We come to this place. You learn that you have to put other people other people's needs before yours in order to receive love and affection. You learned that you had to do that in order to seem worthy or feel worthy. That saboteur, the pleaser saboteur, is trying to protect you from being rejected. That's why you can't stop giving and doing. It's a habit. If I stop giving in, I will lose the relationship. If I say that, I'm going to make you angry and will ruin the relationship. If I express this feeling, this thought, this need, I'm going to lose, my worthiness. These are the lies that the saboteur tells you. But your selfless acts do come with strings attached. At the end of the day, you want people to recognize what you've sacrificed, what you're doing, and you want them to reciprocate it. It is a transaction. But here's the thing, the people that are in this transaction don't even realize that they're in a transaction. They just feel like they have the luck of the Irish. They have run into one person that always gives the green light for whatever they want, they think they need. You're the world's biggest convenience. Here's the thing. I don't think anyone was born and designed to be life's biggest convenience for someone else. You deserve more. So, what do you need to do? First, ponder this. How can anyone fully love and appreciate you if you are never 100% yourself? They only get to know a part of you, and that's mostly their own reflection beaming back at them. All you ever do is reflect what is in front of you. So throughout your day, throughout your relationships, you're actually showing up as the other person. And they find that to be a major convenience. The first step is to identify the pleaser saboteur in action. You have to start labeling your thoughts. And through the PQ Intelligence program that I participate in, do daily, it has helped me to, in the moment, realize what is going on inside of me. What's going on? Oh. Why do I feel compelled to agree? Somebody asked me for something. Why do I feel I have to do it? I encourage you to to pay attention to your body, because one of the calling cards of this saboteur is feeling guilt. Where does, when you feel guilt, where does it show up in your body? Is it in your chest area? Do you feel your heart quicken? Is it in your shoulders? Do you feel tension? Is it in your gut? Do you feel nervous or gassy, or is it in your throat? Where, is it in your head? Is it a pounding? Where does guilt show up in your body? Begin to recognize those signs, because your body is always telling you where you are and what you need. We learn to not pay attention to it. So see the signs. Your body will tell you, oh, I'm in guilt mode. That must mean the saboteur of the pleaser is here. And so what you do is you welcome that saboteur. Hey, 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 pleaser saboteur, I see you. I see you. And I know that you're here to protect me, but I don't need your protection anymore. You first have to identify the thoughts and the feelings that go along hand in hand with this saboteur. I encourage you to be patient with yourself. One of the other things that you're going to have to do in that moment of recognizing the saboteur is break the train of thought that is spiraling you into the lair of the saboteur, right? These are mindsets. These are neural paths that you have built in your brain, that when certain things happen, they trigger a reaction for the saboteur to protect you. So when you recognize the saboteur, that is the moment to break away by doing something. It could be taking deep breaths. You don't have to spend your lifetime in Om, right? It's just a few deep breaths. 3 seconds, that's all you need. Or you do it until you feel satisfied. It could be focusing on something auditory, something that is going on, a noise, a sound in your presence. It could be focusing on something visual and putting your intent focus on it. Again, only for 3 seconds. Doesn't take a day, right? It could be tactile, could be rubbing your fingers together, rubbing your hands, or rubbing a surface, right? That breaks that chain of thought. And in that pause, it gives you a moment to go, oh, I do not want to carry myself down this spiral. I'm going to choose something different right now. And maybe that pause right now is to say to the other person when they ask, well, what do you want to do? To say, you know what? Give me a minute. Let me digest it. Let me think about it. Or when your body and your mind and your soul and your heart is saying no, 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 but you usually ignore the no to lean in and go, well, no, no, I don't know. That's not what I want to do. That's not what I was saying. That's no. But that pause, that being able to do a PQ rep, that's what that called, that breathing, that focusing on the sound or focusing on the visual, it gives you a moment to pause, and in that moment you can make a different decision, right? It only takes a few seconds. When you see the saboteur, be kind. It's trying to protect you. Don't beat it up, because ultimately you're beating yourself up, right? You just want to align your responses with what your body is really telling you, what your heart and your mind is really telling you. And you can do that. I talked a little bit about the yearning. Your saboteur will make you believe that you fear, what you fear is non-approval, non-acceptance, not being loved, not being recognized for your sacrifice. That's a lie. What you yearn is to be 100% yourself. People can only see you if you allow yourself to be seen. So, in order to minimize your saboteur, you have to identify healthy boundaries. You have to know when to say no and practice it. Nope, I'm not giving you money. Nope, I'm not going to not say this because I'm fearing that it's going to cause a conflict. I'm going to say it. Nope, I don't want that. Yes, I want this. You have to give yourself some time to get to know yourself because you have been shutting yourself down for a long time. And you may not be in touch with your body and how it is reacting to things. You may not be in touch with your thoughts and your feelings any longer. So one of the steps is to give yourself time to figure out what you like, what you don't like, what you need, what you don't need. And then you need to exercise being you unapologetically. And also in that vein, you're also going to have to learn to live with the discomfort of being you at first. You're going to have to live with the discomfort of people not knowing who this person is because you have always been a pushover. You've always been a pleaser. Now you've got opinions. Now you've got thoughts. Now you've got wants. Now you got needs. Now you're not backing away from conflict. Who are you? They're going to feel uncomfortable. It's okay. Ride the wave of discomfort. Ride it all the way back to the wound that started this behavior. If you can stay in that moment, if you can just be accepting of the pain, right? Because when you stop to think about it, if you become a people pleaser, there's pain involved with that. And breaking that mindset, that habit will entail a little discomfort as well. But on the other side of that, you're going to find peace and power because you're going to be you 100%, right? And that's what you want. You have to build a new mindset. And I want you to think about what is your response going to be towards feeling guilt, because that's one of your selfishness and guilt. How are you going to respond to that? My mom used to say guilt is man made, meaning that we manufacture that feeling for these types of situations and then suffer from our own making. I encourage you to seek support. Don't be afraid to get help. Don't be afraid to elicit the help of friends and family to say, you know what, I have recognized in myself that I have been a people pleaser. And I want to break that habit. I want to break it. I probably have done it with you and other people. So when you see me just going along with whatever you say, going with the flow, not having opinion, I want you to push back in those moments and help me to break this chain. If you need the support of a therapist, I'm a firm believer in getting a good one that can support you. Get a coach, right, that can help you expedite this work and hold you accountable to change, which is a great way for me to segue into my shameless plug, shall we? This podcast is sponsored by Be Smart Coaching, a leadership development practice focused on helping change makers work smarter. Change makers are those leaders who are determined to break the status quo to create sustainable change. Be Smart Coaching offers assessments, coaching, training and facilitation, change management. And in January 2025, I'll be launching my Women's Leadership Mastermind program. The motto for this company is, in life, you can either work hard or you can work smart. I suggest you work smart. Margie, be smart. That quote came from my mother. Be Smart Coaching is my company. I said it was a shameless plug. And I am passionate about helping change makers become the best version of themselves. So if you are in need for leadership development, please contact me. I am very happy to have a chat with you. With that being said, I also want to talk to you about my 6-week program that I'm starting in January for the PQ Fitness Mental Fitness Program. I lean on this practice daily. This practice is designed using neuropsychology, cognitive behavioral psychology, positive psychology, and performance science. This is not woo-woo stuff. This is built in science. It is when you talk about daily mental fitness, you're talking about a daily mental fitness practice, and when you um, uh, uh, do this program, you will be given access to an amazing app that will track your progress and have daily exercise for you. Because again, this is building new muscles, new neural paths, new mental muscles. You will also have an assessment that will help you identify your saboteurs and your top saboteurs. We have weekly coaching, group coaching sessions. I am the coach for this. To facilitate these conversations. You'll be in a small, intimate cohort with 5 other women who are focused on living happy lives, being their best selves, finding peace and resilience. And you will receive a digital copy of the Positive Intelligent best-selling book by Shirzad Shamin, who is the founder of this amazing practice. So you have until December 25th to register to receive the discounted Sovereignty Sage cost. So with that being said, we have looked at and I'm running a little long today, but I'm going to wrap it up shortly. But we looked at the personal sovereignty side, right? So now we're going to look at the global side. When you look at the state of womanhood across the globe, it's not in a very good place, right? And so I'm going to keep our focus on that pleasing element that women possess. Women are more likely to be people pleasers. A 2022 study done by YouGov found that among Americans, 48% definitely or probably would describe themselves as people pleasers, right? 47% would not. 52% of women are more likely to identify themselves as people pleaser as opposed to 44% of men who would take that title. So women are more likely to be people pleasers. And you have to ask yourself, well, why is that? Right? Well, because we've been trained to feel that way. I was watching a show the other day and I heard a man say, I always admired my mother. She always put everybody else's needs before her own. She always took care of everybody to make sure that they were okay before she thought about herself. This is what we call virtue. Men are not expected to have this virtue. It is not a virtue. It is a pathology that makes women servants and eternal mothers and sad. And when I say eternal mothers, I mean that women feel that they have to take the mothering role on for everyone, their children, their spouses, their managers, their teams. Everyone's needs come before your own. So, as parents, we must put our child's needs before our own because they're vulnerable, right? But women are vulnerable too, vulnerable to burnout, vulnerable to being exhausted, vulnerable to being taken for granted. So, what's the result of this, right? When you stop to think about this tendency of women to be people pleasers throughout history, what has been the result of that? Well, it may mean that women throughout history have opted to be a diluted version of themselves, and because of that, we have forfeited our sovereignty. What has it meant for women's roles, and the roles that we have taken? What has it meant for our guarantee to have full rights as a human being? What has it meant for our safety? What has it meant for our relationships? What has it meant for our physical and mental health? What has it meant for our happiness? Because this saboteur impacts our mental health negatively. Now, I want to turn again for our collective movement. We have to, because this is a revolution, folks. This is a personal evolution and a revolution among women. We have to think about what systems do we need to infiltrate to make certain that we have the sovereignty that we deserve, right? And so I want to uh, uh, give your attention to. I put something in the chat, but I want to talk about a webinar I saw the other day, which was really quite amazing, and it was called. Let me see if I can find that. It was called "Solutionary Power of Public Policy: How to Write the Next Chapter of History the Way You Want It to Be." And this talk was hosted by former congressional staffer Katie Whalen and the Institute for Human Education co-founder Zoe Whale. It was energizing. It was empowering. You will leave after you watch this video with a toolbox of strategies to impact public policy and help write the next chapter of good. Right? We have the ability to influence our legislators to write bills and laws that reflect our needs. What was really engaging and uplifting about this is that we can incorporate children and young adults into these legislative agendas and push to make change. They don't have to wait until they're 18 years old. They can utilize their powers to make change. And our legislators are somewhat moved when they see that there are young people standing in front of them behind measures to change things. So I encourage you to watch the video. I put the link in the chat, and I will also put it in the description on YouTube. So your homework this week for you people pleasers is to get comfortable with being uncomfortable and asking yourself what you want, right? And asking others what they want. Start by first paying attention to your body, paying attention to where that guilt and that selfish feeling emanates from, recognizing that you're in people pleaser mode, and then doing something to break that bond, whether it's breathing, it's tactile, visual, audio, doing something in the moment to break that downward spiral that will enable you to say no, or to enable you to say, I don't want to do that, I want to do this, or to enable you to say, I need this from you, right? So those are the things that you are going to work on, and it's okay to take your time to figure out and learn what it is that you need from yourself, and to be able to hear your authentic self. When you're going to employ patience and love and compassion into that wounded place that help you to develop this saboteur. So as I ask in every week, so what is our radical act? In order to make change, it comes from radically changing our mindsets and what we do on an individual as well as a collective front. So what is our radical act? I'm going to give you the blueprint every time we talk. It's mass demonstrations, if you can host them safely. It's petitions, meaning getting involved in the political system. It's court battles. It's the establishment and support of international women's organizations. So, what evolutionary revolution are you going to start or support? Every time women unite, the world gets better for everyone. I truly believe that. So, let's talk about our quote for today. Confidence is not, they like me or they will like me. Confidence is, I'll be fine if they don't. Christina Grimmie. I thought that was a very powerful quote. And I want to share with you a little background on the person, Christina Grimmie, who gave us that quote. Christina Grimmie was a 22-year-old contestant on The Voice, that singing program. She was a singer, a writer, a YouTuber when she was gunned down by a fixated fan. I thought I needed to share that with you. I think you need to know where that powerful quote emanated from. And that's why I'm doing this work, because I believe the Sovereignty Sage podcast is designed to help us create the infrastructure that we need to live safely, to create the laws that we need to protect us, to champion the cause for universal mental health, uh, all health, and as well as mental health, so that we can address the needs of those people who are suffering from mental illness before they do things like this, right? So I believe I have spoken enough for one day. If this conversation has helped you in any way, please do like, subscribe, and share. Share this information with others. That's the only way that we can make change. And if you're on YouTube, hit the notification button so that you can be alerted to when I'm doing live talks like today. And follow me on Facebook. You can follow me on the Spotify for this. And if you haven't told yourself lately, you are powerful. Now go claim your sovereignty and go rule your world. Thank you for spending your time with me. I'll see you next week. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you tapped into your powers. If you did, like, subscribe, and share. I'm here every Saturday at 9 a.m. for your empowerment. Now go rule your world and claim your sovereignty.